Napoleon Bonaparte is widely regarded as one of the most eminent military leaders in history. His warfare strategies and campaigns remain subjects of study in military institutions globally. Let's delve into the fundamental reasons why very few could challenge Napoleon's prowess on the battlefield. Napoleon was hailed as a military genius for good reason. He didn't just stop at the borders of revolutionary France, he expanded his conquests into a sprawling empire that stretched from Spain to Russia. But what made him truly remarkable wasn't so much his invention of new warfare tactics, but rather his skillful refinement of existing ones. Instead of shaking things up completely, Napoleon was a master at making the most of the military techniques of his time. He had a knack for strategically maneuvering troops, which he demonstrated early on during the Revolutionary War. His standout moments include the Siege of Toulon and his triumphs in Italy in 1796. Napoleon's peak performances came during the battles of Austerlitz and Jena in 1805 and 1806. However, after his reign progressed, his flaws as a commander began to show. His tendency to micromanage the army and promote individuals who excelled under his direct leadership rather than those best suited for independent command worked against him. Ultimately, Napoleon's strategic errors, such as invading Spain and Russia, along with his failure to keep the other major European powers at bay, sealed his fate and led to the downfall of his empire. The Battle of Marengo, which occurred on June 14, 1800, was a significant clash between the French forces led by First Consul Napoleon Bonaparte and the Austrian forces near Alexandria in Piedmont, Italy. As the day drew to a close, the French emerged victorious, thanks in part to their success in repelling General Michael von Melas's surprise attacks. This victory not only drove the Austrians out of Italy, but also bolstered Bonaparte's political standing in Paris as the first consul of France, following his coup the previous November. The Battle of Marengo marked a crucial turning point in Bonaparte's Italian campaign of 1800 and must be understood within that context. Bonaparte, known for his audacity, challenged Melas's communication lines in northern Italy by leading his reserve army in a daring crossing of the Alps in mid-May 1800, even before the passes were fully open. By June 2nd, the French had conquered key cities such as Milan, Pavia, Piacenza and Stradella in Lombardy, effectively cutting off Austria's major supply route eastward via the Po River's south bank. With his sights set on returning to Paris swiftly, Bonaparte wasted no time. The morning after the battle, he sent Berthier on a surprise visit to Austrian headquarters. Within just 24 hours of the battle, Napoleon Bonaparte was quite the character. He started off as a French military leader, then dipped his toes into politics and eventually became the big cheese, or should I say emperor, of the First French Empire during the French Revolution. His journey began when he was just a lieutenant colonel, leading loads of wars along the way. Napoleon's rise to fame kicked off with the French Revolution. He snagged the role of the first consul of the French consulate from 1799 to 1804 and then decided to upgrade to emperor status, ruling over France from 1804 to 1814. Talk about a power move. Once he got comfortable in his emperor's shoes, Napoleon shook things up in Europe like a boss. He pushed for some pretty cool ideas like getting rid of feudalism, letting people practice whatever religion they wanted, and even setting up a central bank. But as with all great figures, opinions about Napoleon are split. Some folks see him as a genius military leader, while others think he was a bit of a troublemaker. The Battle of Trafalgar, which occurred on October 21, 1805, stands as one of the most iconic clashes in British naval history. It unfolded as part of the Napoleonic Wars during Napoleon Bonaparte's ambitious campaign to dominate Europe. In this maritime showdown, the British Royal Navy, led by Admiral Horatio Nelson, squared off against a combined fleet of French and Spanish ships, numbering 33 vessels under the command of French Vice Admiral Pierre-Charles Villeneuve. Nelson's fleet, comprising 27 ships, engaged the enemy with strategic brilliance. Despite being outnumbered, the British forces decisively defeated their adversaries. The outcome was so devastating for Napoleon's fleet that it effectively ended their threat to British naval supremacy. This victory ensured British control over the sea, thwarting Napoleon's bold but ultimately unsuccessful plan to invade and conquer Britain. The Battle of Trafalgar also marked a poignant moment in British history with the loss of Admiral Lord Nelson, who was already celebrated as a national hero. Nelson's death during the battle elevated him to legendary status, cementing his place in history as one of the greatest naval commanders of all time. His triumph at Trafalgar ensured that his legacy would endure for generations to come. The Napoleonic Wars were a series of conflicts between Napoleon's First French Empire and various European coalitions. These wars were ignited by the political upheaval stemming from the French Revolution and its aftermath, known as the French Revolutionary Wars. This period saw France asserting dominance over much of continental Europe. Furthermore, these wars sparked independence movements in Spanish America, leading to the decline of the Spanish and Portuguese empires. They also prompted significant reorganization of German and Italian territories into larger states. Additionally, the Napoleonic Wars introduced innovative methods of conducting warfare. Following the conclusion of the Napoleonic Wars, the Congress of Vienna undertook the task of redrawing Europe's borders, aiming to establish stability. This ushered in a period of relative peace known as the Pax Britannica, which endured until the outbreak of the Crimean War in 1853. Napoleon Bonaparte's early life was shaped by his Italian heritage. His paternal ancestors, the Bonapartes, hailed from a Tuscan noble family that migrated to Corsica in the 16th century, while his maternal grandparents, the Ramolinos, belonged to a minor Genoese noble family. Napoleon was baptized as a Catholic with the name Napoleon. Growing up, Napoleon's mother maintained strict discipline, which helped rein in his hyperactive tendencies. Napoleon later attributed much of his success to his mother's influence, believing that a child's future destiny is greatly influenced by the mother. His maternal grandmother remarried into the Swiss Fesch dynasty, and his uncle, Cardinal Joseph Fesch, served as the guardian of the Bonaparte family for some time. Coming from a relatively affluent and noble family, Napoleon had more educational opportunities than many Corsicans of his time. At the age of 9, he left Corsica for the French mainland and attended a religious school in Autun. Later, he received a scholarship to a military academy in Brienne-la-Château in 1779. Despite facing teasing from his peers due to his accent, birthplace, small stature, and slow French-speaking abilities, Napoleon displayed leadership qualities, even leading younger students to victory in a snowball fight. After completing his studies at Brienne in 1784, Napoleon joined the École Militaire in Paris to train as an artillery officer. However, his father's death compelled him to complete the 2-year training in just 1 year. He became the first Corsican to graduate from the military academy. Napoleon's military career soon took off, and he quickly gained recognition as a military genius and one of history's greatest commanders, fighting in nearly 80 battles and suffering only a handful of losses. In images from his youth, we see a young Napoleon commanding troops on the battlefield, issuing instructions with authority. Well, that's it for today. For now, make sure that you like our video, please share your views in the comment section with us, subscribe to the channel to get updated, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to never miss an update. Thanks for watching and see you at the next one.